Hello and welcome. On behalf of Bond and Salesforce, we thank you for joining us today for today's Power Up webinar series session on fueling innovation and fuel and convenience. We're excited to have you with us and encourage you to ask questions in the chat and share your thoughts and make this an interactive experience. To get us started, I'm pleased to hand things over to James Murphy from Salesforce.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again on our fourth edition of the Loyalty Power Up series, where we've already covered loyalty in retail, QSR, and grocery. And today we have kind of a special session to really lean into the innovation that's playing out in the C-store with the fuel and convenience topic. I am really excited about the content today, and I'm joined once again by some fantastic colleagues from Bond. Leanne and Cimbria, if you'd like to take a second to introduce yourselves.
Great. Thanks, James. Hello, everyone. I'm Leanne Sikowski. I lead our mobility sector here at Bond. I've spent the better part of the past 2 decades of my career in loyalty and specifically in the fuel and convenience stores sector, designing, building, operating, and optimizing loyalty programs for great brands like yours. I'm happy to be here today, sharing current trends, insights, opportunities that we're seeing in this ever-evolving space. Cimbria.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cimbria Van Nest. I'm a Senior Consulting Director on our Strategic Advisory practice here at Bond. I'm passionate about helping brands reimagine their loyalty and known customer strategies. I've had the pleasure and opportunity to work with many fuel and convenience brands across both Canada and the US, and so I'm really excited to bring you through the insights that we've gathered for you today.
Fantastic. Yes, let's jump in. We've got a lot of things to cover, but as I get started, I just want to talk about how excited I am about the partnership that we have coming together here between Salesforce and Bond. It really is a better together story, and I know you hear that a lot. But the ability to then bring together 40 years of loyalty expertise across industries and subverticals, as well as being powered by the #1 CRM and loyalty management platform that we brought to market 4.5 years ago. There really is some amazing offerings and add value that come together between this partnership and relationship of Bond and Salesforce. We're going to talk a little bit more about that towards the tail end. But we really do want to capitalize on some of the latest trends and insights, Bond, that you guys have been tracking. I know that you refresh the Bond loyalty report each year, and you're curating this down to the subvertical level, like we've talked about in the QSR session and the grocery session. So I think the folks today are going to be really interested to understand really what is top of mind when it comes to convenience and fuel.
Thanks, James. Well, in today's world where immediacy, personalization, and convenience aren't just desired, they're expected, customer expectations in the fuel and convenience space are shifting. So as the pace of change accelerates, fuel and C-Star brands, which are built to deliver convenience, maximum convenience in person, are continually having to adapt and innovate to stay relevant. Today, we're going to spend some time talking about the top priorities that we're seeing in this sector. We're going to focus on 3 key areas: omni-channel experience, focusing on creating seamless experiences both in-store, at pump, and in-app, meeting those customer expectations with speed and convenience. We're going to focus on precision personalization, so using those data-driven insights and AI, enabling smarter decision-making, targeted offers, and efficient service delivery. And lastly, we're going to talk about retail media and monetization and finding new and innovative streams. We'll show you some examples of that. But first, I'm going to turn this over to Cimbria, who's going to take you through some industry insights and trends.
Wonderful. Thanks for that setup, Leanne. So to set the stage for today's conversation, we're going to start with insights from this year's loyalty report, which, if you're not familiar with it, is a 15-year syndicated study which tracks loyalty attitudes globally and examines over 395 programs. Our study is also supported with Wallet IQ, which is aggregated financial data collected from opt-in accounts representing the full share of wallet opportunity. I'll just mention before we get started that these participants have all hand raised to provide this information on programs that they participate in. This data is not reflective of any of the specific clients that either Bond or Salesforce works with, but is a broader representation of those market sentiments. Today's TLR insights that we're going to cover are from our US report, but we also have a Canadian study that we are happy to discuss after today with any of the Canadian participants on the line. So the TLR study tracks attitudinal data across 4 key customers' behaviors that are influenced by loyalty. The amount that a customer is willing to maximize their spend with a brand, the influence that a program has on their overall relationship with the brand, the likelihood to recommend that brand, and their overall retention and the amount that they say they're going to continue doing business with the brand. This year, we're starting to see some stagnating results, indicating that attitudes towards loyalty may have reached their peak. And while the results are still very strong, as you can see here, we've also carved out 2 key segments of interest, the affluent customers and the Gen Z customers. As you can see, both of these cohorts are actually showing above average attitudes across all 4 of these statements, with Gen Z actually very closely mimicking the affluent customers in how much loyalty programs influence their overall relationship to the brand. So as you're considering campaigns and strategies to target these customers, it's very much of interest how much loyalty is actually playing a role in the brands that they're choosing to support and engage with. Along with peaking attitudes towards loyalty, we are also continuing to see a very high level of enrollment and activity in programs, with Americans having an average of just over 17 programs in their wallet, of which they're active in about 50%, which is pretty consistent to what we've seen year over year in this report. You can see the distribution of these active programs broken out by program type, and I'll call out here the high frequency retail category. We see there's been a bit of a drop year over year in active programs, with now just shy of 2 active programs per customer. This will typically include either a grocery or a fuel program, maybe a pharmacy program. But what's interesting is the comparison between the average brands shopped compared to the number of programs in wallet. As you can see, they're shopping at over 8 different brands, but they're participating in fewer than a quarter of those programs. So this indicates significant wallet fragmentation in the category, yet a very high competition for loyalty share. For fuel brands, this means that your customers are likely opting into only one of these several gas sites that they're visiting, and getting their attention and keeping it is becoming more and more difficult. Now, particularly within fuel and convenience, we are starting to see a slight erosion in the emotional loyalty towards programs, with the sentiment of brand is loyal to me, the metric on the far right here, dropping significantly to a 5-year low. While other performance metrics remain relatively consistent to prior years, this drop in perceived reciprocity may be foreshadowing some risks to come if programs don't continue to demonstrate that they know and are treating their members individually versus creating value propositions that simply target the masses. Now, that being said, overall satisfaction to fuel and convenience programs still remains strong. With high market saturation and most brands now offering some form of loyalty, we're seeing innovations across digital channels, site engagements, and strong partnership value, all topics that Leanne teed up that we're going to explore more in today's presentation. In this year's TLR study, our driver framework was updated based on what's driving loyalty to your program. So historically, each of the drivers you've seen here were relatively equally weighted in their importance. This year, though, we're seeing a bit of a shift, with access now that pinnacle of building sustained loyalty with customers. It's enabling you to be highly differentiated by offering brand-aligned experiences and opportunities that are gated through loyalty membership. Financial value and personalization, known here as NOMI, are also falling slightly behind as drivers, but they're still holding significant weight in the eyes of consumers. Now, the lower half of the pyramid is where we start to get into some of those table stakes attributes, providing members with convenience, with relevant information, timely communications, and data security. These things are now expected, and you don't necessarily get a lot of credit if you get them right, but they can certainly create dissatisfaction if they are missed or done incorrectly. Now, when we break these drivers out into their individual attributes, we can see that the top spots in overall importance in US overall are dominated by access, part of the reason why that has risen to the top of the pyramid. In fuel and convenience, we see a slight reordering of these attributes, with a couple in the top 10 that actually didn't make the US overall list. So, starting at the top, we're seeing financial value still hold significant weight, which isn't surprising given the frequency and rising cost of fuel purchases. And while many programs will compete on cents per gallon value, there are a few other notable attributes that can differentiate this industry from the average. We're seeing timing of communications, ease of interactions, and understanding who I am rise up to the top 10 attributes list. As we know, gas and convenience purchases can be grudge purchases for many customers. So making their experience with your brand seamless, as seamless as possible by properly providing them with relevant offers and benefits that are available to them, as well as tailoring the experience, leveraging that wealth of data that is available to us, can really help to ease the friction and increase the satisfaction towards the brand. In addition to the attitudinal data that's collected through the loyalty report, Bond has also developed a multidimensional score to reflect customer engagement by combining survey, social sentiment, and transaction data to provide a deeper understanding of the emotional loyalty and brand perception. So the CEI score really assesses the whole of a customer, the emotions, the attitudes, and the behaviors, which we can then benchmark brands within the same industry to identify opportunities to improve your CX, your engagement, and your brand equity. Within fuel and convenience, the top performing brands across the 17 that we've ranked are what you see here. Circle K and 7-Eleven are dominating in the C-store space, with Shell, BP, and Chevron holding those top fuel brand spots. These brands are really elevating their brand perception through loyalty program mechanics, many of which we're going to explore in the next set of slides as we dive into the industry priorities and trends. So with that, we'll jump in, keep an eye out for some stories on these brands as we head into the next couple of slides.
Thanks, Timbria. Yeah, so jumping into our first of our top priorities, omni-channel engagement is table stakes. So a robust mobile app fueled by customer data has become a fundamental element in cultivating loyalty, boosting engagement, and seamlessly connecting the experience at the pump and in store. 7-Eleven does a great job of informing members of the benefits and the value that they have through one-to-one messaging in the app. Circle K Inner Circle, with their mobile pre-order, have bridged that physical to digital experience gap. Journey Rewards are leveraging your data to serve up offers based on the site that you frequent most often. And Thornton's is doing an excellent job of making sure that you have the right combination of learning and education, i.e., through reminders, dashboard, reinforcing at POS, frontline staff reminding members of the frictionless ways to earn rewards. We do see overall, though, that there's a great opportunity for brands to better leverage and link this omni-channel assets that they have to drive better member engagement. On the next
I can add to that really quickly. Like there's a reason why we're seeing so many of these C-store retailers refresh and launch, reimagined versions of their mobile app in the last 2 years because of this. The increasing the speed, the richness of the interaction, that like gamification, like within the app, and the utility at the pump, like you mentioned, is really driving that ability to pre-order, streamline my check-in, my payment at the pump, the enticements of the promotions that are bringing me into the store. But if you go back and just look at the app stores, like there's been across the board a complete refresh, and probably more planned in the near future, because that is the digital heartbeat of your brand. This is where that consumer is interacting with that brand while on their smartphone in their hand. So I love that one.
Absolutely. When we jump to the next slide, there's a lot to see here on this slide. So we're going to focus in on the highlighted areas in yellow, because this is really what's rising to the top. So when we look into our TLR year-over-year performance, specifically in the fuel and convenience sector here, personalization attributes are on the rise, and they're becoming more and more important to your members. As a member of your program, if you're collecting information from me from multiple locations that I'm visiting, show me that you know me. Send me day part offers during my morning commute. You know that at least twice a month during the week, I also fuel up in the evenings at a location that's about 45 kilometers away from my usual weekend location. So send me an offer with my favorite sweet snack to grab on the go at the location. I would love a surprise and delight treat while I'm trying to kill 2 hours during my daughter's soccer practice. The truth of the matter is that this sector is behind when it comes to true personalization. And for those of us in the industry, there's some obvious barriers and challenges. So pump technology changes are a very hefty investment. Network splits between corporate and franchisee or dealer owned sites can make creating that seamless experience difficult. But we do see brands in this space making progress, and many have some aggressive roadmaps. So we are excited to see when we look at the TLR report next year, the strides that have been made in this really important attribute. There are a couple of brands that are doing some great elements of personalization in their programs. So 7-Eleven 7 Rewards builds on their classic punch card with offering this range of streaks where reward purchases with bonuses at various frequency thresholds. These streaks are personalized for each member based on their purchase patterns and interests. And they're doing this all via these selections via AI and machine learning. Rutter's convenience stores use a Remember Me technology as part of their VIP Club program to enhance customer experience and personalize their food orders. So a customer walks into the store, walks up to the kiosk, enters their 10-digit mobile phone number and their 4-digit PIN code, and the kiosk then presents to them the last 10 to 12 products that they've ordered in the past, and they can then customize from there, making it much faster and convenient for them. Another example from 7-Eleven is they're doing leveraging geo-targeting to drive personal offers, and they're doing it really well. So by understanding a customer's current location, 7-Eleven can tailor up offers to specific stores or areas, such as promoting new products available at a nearby location or offering discounts on items relative to that customer. The true beauty, though, of this is when we can get personalization working in tandem with your omni-channel assets, delivering tailored content in real time. So whether that's at the pump, self-checkout, attendant-facing screen, digital screens, where app-linked loyalty and personalized offers are seamlessly integrated to all of these channels.
Yeah, to add a tidbit on that, that emotional connection really comes from these offers being meaningful, timely, and relevant. Like that is hands down the theme to like all of these membership strategies today. All this data that we have, like you mentioned, you're 45 kilometers, miles away from your weekend destination. Like how well are we showing up? Like showing that we know them and that those offers when they're within a mile of the store are really something that they're going to act on, or when they're at the pump. And I think that's where like the future is headed, where AI is going to be able to improve the timeliness and the relevancy of that offer at the right time, at the right place for the right customer or tiers of customers. So I know there was a question in the chat around how is this emotional connection coming to life? I think that's really the first component is that the right offer? Are we giving them something that they're going to act upon
That's
that
right.
matters to them?
So we also know that many brands in this space are exploring innovative ways to drive new revenue streams. And I know, James, in our recent Power Up series that we did on grocery, you talked about how grocery brands are really focused on this retail media network and monetization. It's definitely a theme that we're also discussing more and more in the fuel and C-store sector, and how we can help brands turn loyalty programs into effective revenue generating platforms.
Yeah, like hands down across the board in retail media is the fastest growing new revenue stream. We really dug into this in the grocery webinar recently, that there's a lot of traction and momentum there. It's also interesting to see how many grocers are also leaning into their fuel presence, standing up EV charging and things like that. And what's really fun is like the future of this retail media application of the in-store or on property and brick and mortar engagement is the combination of loyalty plus retail media plus that personalization and offer management side. It's a match made in heaven where the three of those combined really helps that placement of the ad, whether that's on the pump or on their mobile phone or a geo-based enticement because they're nearby, really can come to life in a better way. And then it can be monetized based upon the partnerships that they have from the retail media side. So yes, it's of course very top of mind in grocery, but it's really coming on big in on the convenience side as well.
Yeah, so much opportunity there. And then when we look at the next slide, other ways that we are seeing brands finding new revenue streams. Brands are extending that value and generating new forms of revenue through market innovations fueled by changes in customer behavior. So obviously, with EV charging, we're extending dwell times from anywhere from 15 minutes to 60 minutes. And so fuel stations are transforming into destinations by incorporating amenities such as cafes and lounges and retail options. And this shift transforms charging stops into commercial opportunities and lifestyle experiences, engaging customers and generating revenue beyond traditional fueling by leveraging this captive audience. On the right, we look at something really fun that 7-Eleven is doing really well, but with this rise in convenience brands, we're creating this exclusive brand merchandise that taps into that Gen Z fandom culture. Think limited edition apparel, collectibles, or collabs with influencers, which is really driving both impulse purchases and powerful word of mouth marketing on social media. So, by leaning into these trends that resonate with these younger audiences, these stores can turn fans into loyal brand ambassadors and really increasing that in store traffic and overall spend.
Yeah, and not only is this like digital or this merchandise a new revenue stream on its own, some of these really cool products, like if you haven't checked out the Seven collection, you should go there. Like my 16-year-old hands down loves all this stuff, but like some of these items are extremely exclusive, have high price points, and these could be leveraged as an exclusive reward based upon some gamification element of a program, where they're sweepstakes or instant wins or top candidates, get into a drawing to unlock and win one of these jackets or something. So the loyalty program can come to life in all of these, from the EV charging and that dwell time and the gamification and compelling them inside to the store to do something, or from this merchandise expansion of these products and goods.
Absolutely. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on partnerships. We're spending a lot of time talking with brands about partnership strategy across all sectors, but specifically in the gas sector, we're seeing many high frequency brands partner up. So, for example, in the US, we're seeing BP's Earnify and Amazon Prime. We're seeing Exxon and Walmart Plus. Here in Canada, Petro-Canada's PetroPoints partnered with another great Canadian brand in Canadian Tire. We've got Esso and PC Optimum for that fuel and grocer partnership. And then we're seeing across mobility and travel, again, here in Canada, Parkland's Journey Rewards partnered with Aeroplan, and in the US, we've got Chevron partnered with Auto Club. And when done well, these partnerships are driving immense value for members and brands alike. So whether it's optimizing your existing partnership, which may not be performing as you've anticipated, or if you're exploring the idea of a new partnership, whether that's promotional or programmatic or strategic, we do have a really unique approach to help brands maximize the value and benefit of a partnership that I would be happy to spend some more time on talking with you about another day.
Yeah,
James, over to you.
these partnerships have been so top of mind in a lot of retail programs in some of these other subverticals that we've covered, from even QSR, and grocery. And what's fun is like they can even be limited time offers or elements of the program that can maybe just be a trial period of like a couple of months or 6 months, and others that are staples. And especially if you have a premier program like Walmart Plus, which is a $99, paid subscription annually, this is adding that increased like benefits and convenience and savings through this, especially as people are traveling for vacations and stuff this summer, as back to school is about to begin. And it really expands that brand awareness and that emotional connection with that program because now they're able to have savings at an Exxon in the middle of Montana on the way to visit grandma or something on a trip. True story, by the way. So yes, there's a lot of fun things around partnerships and finding the right partnership and being able to onboard and offboard those partnerships more easily and effectively. So, which as we wrap up here today, there's so many amazing trends and insights. So thank you, Simbri and Leanne. Once again, I'm extremely excited. You can see how much just expertise that Vaughn is bringing to the table with Wallet IQ and the loyalty report, and how this is really coming to life. As Salesforce, we have been known as a CRM company, and many don't know that we actually brought to market our own loyalty program management solution about 4.5 years ago that was built natively on top of our CRM. Wasn't an acquisition or anything because we truly believe that the next evolution of loyalty and membership starts with knowing and understanding your customer, starts with connecting and ingesting this data from wherever that may be across your enterprise, so you can have this holistic, actionable view of the customer. And then with AI and automations, it's like, how can we more effectively define what this strategy should be and then be able to manage this with small teams because everyone is kind of trying to take cost and complexity out of their business and maximize gross margin. And that's really something that we've been leaning into. And so as Bond comes together with Salesforce, I think this is a win-win opportunity that really blends the expertise of this space around loyalty plus kind of this technology that we've been building. So Leanne, if you could kind of step through a little bit of kind of what Bond is bringing to the table for those brands that are considering reimagining a loyalty solution or launching one for the very first time.
Yeah, thanks, James. I think wherever you are in your loyalty journey, we'd love to connect and bring our gas and C-store loyalty expertise to your business. Whether you're thinking of just starting out in loyalty and need support determining a program construct or a loyalty P&L, or you have an existing program that you're looking to redesign or optimize, we have turnkey solutions to meet you where you are in your loyalty journey. And we leverage all of our proprietary assets that are proven time again to drive value for your members and growth for our brand. And then lastly, I'll just touch on, Bond and Salesforce. So why us partnering together? I think it's fair to say that the differences lies in the sum of our parts. So first, we're end-to-end partners, really meaning that we're engaged to help clients build or fix loyalty programs. We think about it from an operator's mindset. So operational requirements and feasibility for tech, always rooted in strategy and how we can be most successful and really enable this through Salesforce. So our services are unmatched. We're recognized as a global leader in loyalty by organizations such as Forrester in almost every publication for the past decade. And our work is grounded in the largest data asset on known customer loyalty in the world. So informing our design and our optimizations and our retailers using human-centered design and battle-tested mechanics from our behaviors. So we partner really closely. And lastly, I would just say, informing post-launch measurement and optimization through our AI-enabled tools such as Synapse XI, really important. It really helps us stand out as a different SI. This is where most SIs have gaps, and we're really bridging that strategy and depth of business understanding with actually implementing successfully being long-term partners to fuel and C-store retailers. So I know we're at 12 o'clock. James, you want to wrap us?
I would love to. And bringing that vision to life and that strategy to life on a platform that is proven and scalable and ultimately can connect that loyalty journey across the entire customer journey from acquisition, engagement, and retention in the brick and mortar stores, in the forecourts, in marketing channels, in digital commerce, in social, is exactly where the Salesforce element comes into the equation with that technology platform. There is so much that can happen and that can come to life in a reimagined loyalty program. And you need to reach out and talk to Bond in Salesforce to understand what should it be for you. There's so many things it could be. What is right in your program? How does this come to life? And then how does it evolve over time? Because loyalty is an iterative process. There is it's going to be a continual breathing element that should be able to scale and be more agile. And that's exactly what we're bringing to the equation. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you found some value out of this. If you'd love to learn more, please reach out to everyone that's on this webinar today, as well as Nick and I, and we would love to kind of get you connected and help you learn more about how we can help you reimagine loyalty. So Leanne and Cimbria, thank you so much for joining us today on this Power Up series. And everyone here, the recording will be made available. And those that are watching after the fact, please also reach out. And these QR codes will take you to a new landing page to learn more about the Bond plus Salesforce relationship and what we can do there. So thank you, everyone, for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks all.